Good morning, everyone. I'm Cleet Casper. I'm the Director of Real Estate for Saby Corporation, and we're a member of the steering committee for NYC Builds Bio. Happy to be here today. I'm here to introduce Kathleen Kearns, the Vice President of Development and Communications for the New York Genome Center. Kathleen Kearns leads the fundraising, public relations, and marketing efforts that support the innovative work here at the New York Genome Center. With over 25 years of experience in development, communication, and marketing, Ms. Kearns formerly was the Senior Vice President, Development and External Affairs for the Continuum Health Partners Hospital System through its merger with Mount Sinai. She held a number of progressively responsible positions during her long tenure with the system. Previously, Ms. Kearns was the Director of Marketing and Public Affairs for the Hospital for Special Surgery. Active in a number of civic and professional organizations, she is on the board of the Hudson Square Business Improvement District and a member of the Development Committee of the Colin Powell School for Civic and Global Leadership at the City College of New York. She served as chairman of the New York City Workforce Investment Board in the Bloomberg administration from 2010 to 2014, and also has been president of the Healthcare Public Relations and Marketing Society for the Greater New York. Ms. Kearns has an MBA in marketing from the Lubin School of Business, Pace University, and she earned her bachelor's degree at the Boston University College of Communication and recently served as chair of the college's annual fund. So with that, I'd like to introduce Ms. Kearns.
Thank you. As I was hearing someone else read my bio, I thought, gosh, I sound very old. Thank you. No, thank you. Well, on behalf of my colleagues here at the Genome Center, we're delighted to welcome you here today. I think it's an honor for me to talk to you about the New York Genome Center, where I've been in place for about 4 years now. Now, Nancy Kelly and I didn't overlap, but her legacy is alive and well here at the Genome Center, and those who go on the tour will see that. A lot of really thoughtful work went into the planning of this space, and it's thanks to Nancy that we have the layout and the design and everything that we are enjoying so much. So I'm going to give you a little bit of an overview of the Genome Center, in general what we're doing here, and then some background on the space. And joining me is Mike Pesch, who's our engineer, who can handle any of the questions that come up that are related to specifics of that. Thank you. All right. So the New York Genome Center, like the Stem Cell Foundation, is a not-for-profit institution. We are solely dedicated to research, and we were founded in 2011 by what we call our institutional founding members, the academic medical centers here in New York City, together with some of New York City's finest civic leaders. The co-chairman of our board are a gentleman named Russ Carson and Ivan Seidenberg, who worked with Nancy and Tom Aniotis and others to create the center. We moved into this site in 2013, and as Susan and others talked about earlier, it was hard to find the right space. Nancy can certainly speak to that, is my understanding, and how fortunate we are to be here at 6th Avenue, really what we call where Tribeca, Soho, and Hudson Square all converge. Recently, we have honed our focus at the Genome Center to 3 key disease areas: neurodegenerative disease, neuropsychiatric disease, and cancer. And everything that you'll see when you, as I talk through this and as we walk through later, are focused in those areas. As you can see, we have an august group of institutional founding members, some of the best medical centers in the world, and all of the great academic medical centers here in New York, and as well as the Jackson Labs up in Maine. Some recent accomplishments. As I note, we are focused on 3 disease areas and have one of the largest cohorts of autism samples. We have an ALS consortium that is second in the world in terms of its number of samples and its scope. As a relatively young organization, we're building our portfolio of grants, which are imperative for the success of the Genome Center, building our faculty and our team over the past 5 years or so as we've been in this space. And moving from a center for sequencing to more of a research institution with many faculty members and others who are focused in our key areas. As I noted, we moved here in 2013 into this beautiful space that we all enjoy so much. The capacity of our space is 50,000 whole genomes. We have 186 employees, and all of our space is 170,000 square feet of lab and support space. And as I said, some of you will see that. So here's some of the overview and some of the specifics of what we have. So wet lab space for our researchers is very important. We're here on the first floor of the building. Second floor houses much of this, the HVAC and a lot of the data support that we need. The bulk of our work, the heart of our work, happens on the 4th and 5th floors. That's where the wet lab space is. That's where some of the dry lab space for our scientists is located. Of course, we have administrative space up on the 7th floor with a beautiful outdoor garden that everyone enjoys. The 6th floor is where office space, open floor space that's common for organizations like ours, where our computational biology team sits. That's the largest team we have here at the center, about 70 people on that space. You're sitting here in our convening space where we host any number of meetings throughout the year. And we also benefit from having these open stairwells. So the whole place was designed with communication and interaction, collaboration, and you really get the feeling of that throughout the space, and it resonates with us as part of our mission. The sequencing labs, so you know genome sequencing is the core of what our work is here. The technology evolves. Right now, we have 5 NovaSeqs. That's the latest piece of equipment from the Illumina company that has really revolutionized genome sequencing and make it more affordable and more accessible to so many more scientists, and for us, more and more patients. For those who go on the tour, you'll see this equipment. And you see that the NovaSeqs can do about 700 genomes a week. That's a huge number for us or for any lab. We're converting many of our projects from the HiSeq X's, which were the the state of the art when we entered into this space about 5 years ago. As the technology has evolved, the speed of which we can sequence these genomes has evolved tremendously. But many of our projects were started on the HiSeqs, and most researchers want to complete their projects all in the same, keep the cohorts in the same technology sector. As we move forward, the NovaSeqs will become more and more engaged and employed, and I assume we'll be adding a number of those as the years move on as well. I guess important to this group is how do we power all this stuff in this room? It's critical, obviously, to our work, and part of the design of pulling all of this space together, very important for us. This building used to be one of the union headquarters health facilities. That's why this area is zoned for, and why we're able to function here, although no patients come to the New York Genome Center. All of the clinical work that we do is referred to us by physicians. The patients don't come and don't present to the Genome Center. For this clinical sequencing, as we're moving, the bulk of our work is still research focused, but as we're moving to more clinical sequencing of patients working in partnership with our institutional founding members, what we're doing in the clinical sequencing lab is more and more important to us as an organization. We're very proud of the fact that we have the first oncology whole genome and transcriptome sequencing test, which is very important to patients for whom, at this point, for whom conventional treatment has not yet worked. Standard treatments haven't worked. So their physicians are looking for something else that might shed some light into their disease cause and possibly identify additional targets for treatment. We just got the approval for this test in end of last year. It took us almost 2 years to get that testing. So those of you who have regulation by New York State for your work will understand that. Molecular biology, of course, is very important to all the work of our scientists, and the building out the lab space and supporting the work of the scientists was critical for us. Now, of course, when we moved into this space, we had plenty of room to grow. We were very fortunate that our board had the foresight to secure additional space under Nancy's leadership. And when you walk around the labs now, even the difference from when I started over 3 years ago to today, we are already crammed. We already have, we're already tight on both wet and dry lab space, which happens in every organization that I've ever worked in to date. And so that's a constant challenge for our team, led by a gal named Patricia Clasenda, who just had her knee replaced. Otherwise, she'd be here talking to you about this today. So that's a big challenge for Patricia and for Mike and their teams, and I expect will continue to be a big challenge for us as we grow, yeah, for sure. A big part of what the Genome Center does is help interpret and analyze all the data that comes off of these sequencing machines. As I noted, our computational biology and bioinformatics team is the largest group that we have here at the center. And so supporting all of that work, both through energy and storage, is a big part of the Genome Center's effort. It's a big part of our budget. It's a challenge for us as both in this space and in the outside space that we use. So as I noted earlier, on the second floor is where we have a lot of this equipment. I guess that's probably on second floor, a place they'd rather have higher ceilings than we have in some of the other areas, or a little bit less so.
Basic staff is the same.
Sorry. So what we're hoping to do at the Genome Center is beyond what our mission of genomic sequencing to advance treatment and opportunities for patients in our disease categories, is also participate in the life science community. I agree with what Susan was saying earlier. New York City is a fantastic place for this type of work. I know that the mayor and the governor are very interested in continuing to build the life sciences sector here. We're very happy to host all of you and help contribute in any way. And I congratulate Nancy and her team for putting this meeting together and for all that she and others are doing to advance life sciences in New York. We're very happy to be part of it, and happy to show those of you who are interested around after the next talk. Thanks so much.